Hi, so here's a video looking at your life cycle assessment for ENV 430 and specifically how to connect a product inventory to the LCA impact. And so what we're really focusing on here is the number 2 within your assignment. So 3 quantitative pieces of information that help you connect your product to the LCA impact. And so what we're really looking at here is this is from the LCA inventory from the previous video where I dissected a K-cup really thoroughly and looked at and started to quantify each aspect within the K-cup itself. And so these were the quantification aspects per pod that I was able to measure. And so remember, the LCA impact has 3 main categories that we're using for this course, looking at ecological systems degradation. So this is any aspect of land or where the impact on the land changes how we can then use it. Resource depletion, usually fossil fuel use, mining, those kind of things, or human health and welfare. So some aspect of negative impact on human health. And so some of these you can think about are farm area related to your product, how much fossil fuel use, energy, crude oil amounts is also something to look at. For human health, sick days, prevalence of cancer, or a certain amount of chemicals, especially if these chemicals are linked with disease or illness. I think in the homework I talked about chromium with leather. So those are a few things to really start to pull out. And what really helps is looking at your inventory and then starting to research the main components that go into your product itself. And then you'll start to really pull out what's of importance within that product. And so again, we're coming back to these quantification aspects from the product itself and taking these to the impact. So to do that, you really look at each one. And so here, polypropylene makes up a large, at least volume of my product. And so I'm going to research polypropylene. And when I do, I come up on one of these, this resource here from the EPA, where it says producing new plastic from recycled material uses only 2/3 of the energy required to manufacture it from raw materials. Okay, so the question that really comes to me is, how much energy does it make to make polypropylene? So if I actually use recycled materials, I can decrease the energy, which certainly would help me make a more sustainable product. So I want to research how much energy it takes. And so when I do, I come across actually a really great resource that is from the European plastics manufacturers. And so what they report is that the average gross energy required to produce 1 kilogram of polypropylene is 73 megajoules with a range of values, etc. So we're going to use this. So basically I can now take 73 megajoules of energy per 1 kilogram of polypropylene. And so that's exactly what I'm really looking for number 2. And how I can use this is to then take this value and compare it to what I have my per pod. And so if I kind of go through the math, I want to change grams to kilograms. And so I cross off like values, like units, and then I want to look at how much energy it actually takes to make the plastic within 1 pod. And to do that, multiply by this ratio here, and what I end up with is about 0.073 megajoules of energy per pod. Seems kind of like a lot, but also remember that there's a lot of estimation within this, and so we're really looking for just to get within the order of magnitude. And so that's basically, this is one aspect that I could use for my homework assignment, and this is the other quantification aspect. And so then the third one I could really pull out is using this aspect here. And so if I know how much energy per pod, and if I could, one of my strategies to commit to using 100% recycled polypropylene, so I basically can multiply by 1/3 and look at how much energy is actually saved per pod if I decide to do that. And so this is the other kind of piece of information we could pull out. And so when connecting your inventory to the impact within the environment, you're really looking at what kind of quantification aspects you could do, and you really need to put in the source that you pull this information from. And so again, this would be a great one to pull out with your source. This would be another one to pull out with the math that you could go through from your initial inventory. And then, because looking here we have 4 main things, I got 2 pieces of information from this plastic. The other big one that I might want to look at related to energy is this aluminum top. So I can then look per gram of aluminum. I could use this. And just the note, search terms are really important. So when you research it, you could search energy to produce aluminum, and I highly suggest you to put in some sort of amount. Gram can really help you narrow down exactly what you're looking for. So if you just put in energy to produce aluminum, you're going to get mostly large volumes or large estimates, say, within the aluminum industry. And to really nail it down to per gram that you would find very useful for this product, put in gram.